What's going on, everybody? Dan Karpuk here for TrendsCenter, and I am here with another episode of Trend or Trap for Tuesday, July 28th, 2026. As always, I'm going to break down 3 games, and today I'm going to discuss 2 MLB games and 1 college football trend that I found in the TrendsCenter app, just like you can right now for both NCAA football and NFL as we get closer and closer to football, and it's an exciting time over here right now. All right, so without further ado, let's get right into baseball with the Braves at the Mets. Per TrendsCenter, since 2023, favorites starting left-handed pitchers against the Mets have gone 43-13 on the money line. That's 77.97% for 29.34 units of profit, 35.82% ROI. Is this a trend to tail with the Braves minus 155 on the road or the Mets plus 135 at home, making it a trap to fade? I'm going to say that this is a trend to tail. Chris Sale is on the mound for the Braves. He's 11-6 with a 2.19 ERA. This is going to be a rematch from his July 4th start. In that one, he allowed 3 earned runs in 5 innings with just 3 strikeouts, but didn't really need to do too much because Atlanta won 14-3, gave him a ton of run support. Coming off an 11 strikeout performance on Thursday against the Padres, he shouldn't have too difficult of a time getting through a Mets lineup that is sorely missing Juan Soto. Christian Scott is 3-2 with a 3.13 ERA. He's going to get the start for the Mets here. He started against the Braves back on July 3rd, went just 4 innings, 3 earned runs en route to a 5-3 loss in that one. But with Ronald Acuna back, this Braves lineup is a lot more dangerous, and Scott's inability to pitch deep into games should tax New York's bullpen and ask them to deliver. In situations just like this, the market hasn't fully adjusted back to considering Atlanta one of the best lineups in the league. And with their ace on the mound, this is really a no-brainer to me. This should be in the minus 170, minus 175 range, in my opinion. So I absolutely think there's a ton of value getting this in the minus 155 range. Heading to the Yankees at the White Sox. Since April 19th, 2022, the Yankees have gone 26-3 on the money line. That's 89.66% for 21.76 units of profit, 37.56% ROI, with Gerrit Cole starting versus AL Central opponents. So, is this a trend to tail with the Yankees minus 145 or a trap to fade with the White Sox plus 125? This is another trend to tail. Gerrit Cole, who's 3-5 with a 3.92 ERA, is going to pitch for the Yankees in this one, obviously, and he hasn't been the Gerrit Cole we're used to seeing dominate lineups. He's given up a very high barrel rate, high hard hit rate, high average exit velo, and he's also struggled getting whiffs in opposing hitters to even chase pitches, despite his above-average strikeout rate. Despite that, I think he is in a better spot, though. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and Cody Bellinger are sidelined with injuries, but Anthony Kay, who's going to start for the White Sox, just isn't good. He has a better outlook, obviously, than if those guys were in, but he's very bad. He ranks in the 11th percentile in pitching run value per Baseball Savant, in the 11th percentile in xERA at 5.30, and in the 16th percentile in xBA at 268. He also has a low strikeout rate at just 18%, which is the 17th percentile, and I don't trust him whatsoever, even against a watered-down Yankees lineup. Remember, these are still professional hitters, and with that 18% strikeout rate, when you put balls in play, crazy things can happen. Can Gerrit Cole pull out a 10 strikeout performance? Of course he can. He's Gerrit Cole. So I think, again, just like we did in the last game, we're going to back Chris Sale is a current ace as well. Would you consider Gerrit Cole the ace of the Yankees? No more with Cam Schlittler absolutely dominating, being the AL Cy Young frontrunner, but he is obviously still a quality number 2, and you might even consider him a 1A, or a 1B, I should say, to Schlittler at the top of this Yankees starting rotation. So I expect this trend to move to 27-3. Now, for the college football trend, it is Oklahoma State at Tulsa per TrendsCenter in week 1. Home underdogs of 2.5 or more points have gone 75, 37, and 1 against the spread. That's 66.96% for 34.3 units of profit, 27.59% ROI, with totals between 48.5 and 64 since 2014. So is this a trend to tail with Tulsa plus 12.5 at home, or a trap to fade with Oklahoma State minus 12.5 on the road? So you might be wondering, what's up with the spread here? So after starting 3-0 in 2014, Oklahoma State heads into this game having lost 20 straight games against FBS schools over the last 2 seasons. They finished 1-11 last year with their lone win over FCS opponent Robert Morris. Now, speaking of Morris, and the reason why the line is what it is, new head coach Eric Morris is at the helm, and he's going to bring with him an electric offensive philosophy that saw his teams at North Texas be a perennial juggernaut on that end of the ball. The major story here will be Drew Mestemaker, who threw for 4,379 yards to lead college football in that regard. With 34 touchdowns, 9 interceptions for the Mean Green last season, he's coming over with his head coach. And obviously the story here is he didn't start a single game in high school. So really cool story. In the real question mark here is, with all of these new players, with the new school, with all of the transfers coming in, can they immediately hit the ground running? I don't think they should struggle generating points. I think that the real question mark is on the other end of the football. They play at a very, very high pace on the offensive side of the ball when they have the football, and so their defense could be on the field for a long, long, long time, which could be an issue, especially early in the season. Last year, North Texas went 10-4 against the spread under Morris. That is important to note, but it'll be a difficult task to go on the road with a new school, with a lot of new players in week 1. And Tulsa went 6-6 against the spread last year under then first-year head coach Trey Lamb, who is going to be looking to improve off that 4-8 campaign. He added running backs from Auburn and Mississippi State in the transfer portal. Both of those guys have some experience behind them. Quarterback Baylor Hayes will return under center and should benefit from having an experienced offensive line to protect him as well. They have some defensive transfers from places like Baylor and Nebraska to go along with poaching UAB's leading tackler, Devin Hightower. The Golden Hurricane have a win total of just 5.5, but that's right on the cusp of being bowl eligible. So the pretty decent outlook heading into the new season for Tulsa. The big question here, though, is can they keep the game within 12 points? And given the fact that they're at home against a rebuilding Oklahoma State program with a coaching debut on that side, I think that their value here is on the home team. I think that, especially given that aforementioned trend as well, the 66.96% hit rate, I'm going to go with Tulsa at plus 12.5 on their home field in week 1. So if you made it this far, as always, you have an exclusive promo code to take advantage of. It is POD50, POD50, to take 50% off your first month of TrendsCenter access. This is a perfect time to do so. Just like I mentioned off the jump, you have NFL, NCAA football, and MLB trends to research, to create, to do all sorts of fun stuff with in the app right now. Check it out. And if you have any questions about the app, feel free to DM me at Daniel Karpuk or at TrendsCenter app, and we will get right back to you with any of those answers. Again, we think we have an awesome product here, and we want to arm you with all of the trends and systems that you care about heading into the new football seasons. So let's beat the books together. And as always, POD50, POD50, take 50% off your first month. I'll be right back here tomorrow with another episode of Trend or Trap.